Okay, so when it comes to squatting, a lot of people have issues with ankle mobility, okay? And if you've been listening to my recent podcast, I've talked about the importance of knees over toes, all right? So one of the biggest issues is the fact that a lot of people are trying to get into that knee over toe position, but in the process, that heel keeps coming up, okay? So this is a little bit of a, I don't want to say an advanced version, but you kind of get a 2-for-1, all right? Because a lot of people not only are tight up in the ankles, but their calves are tight, okay? So remember, everything works together. So if my calves are tight, my ankle is going to have limited mobility, and if my ankles are tight, my calves are gonna get tighter, and so that's gonna cause mobility issues also, because everything is working in kinetic chain. So if you wanna make it a little bit more difficult, but to get a 2-for-1 mobility and stretch at the same time, you can take something as simple as a pad that you use for hip thrust, okay? Because this is soft, it's gonna kind of give. And what it's going to do is it's going to elevate your foot. Now see, my foot looks crazy high, but once I really put that pressure in, as you see, it'll kind of go down, okay? You can start at any height, anything that's just going to raise the front of your foot up, all right? And I don't want you to think about like trying to work on your ankle mobility. I try to tell people, look, just shift and see if you can get your toes to go, your knee past your toes. Past your toes, all right? But you just don't want that heel to come up off the ground. Anything that's gonna elevate the front of your foot, this is extreme because it doesn't give you much. This is a yoga block. And so I'll go here, and then I'll drive that as hard as I can forward, I believe in going in and out. I also believe in holding things, all right? I don't think there's a right or wrong almost to anything anymore. I've learned that, thank you, baby girl. I think that stretching, I think that mobility, I think everything is important. It all holds its place, all right? And you have to find what's working best for your body and your situation. Another thing I like to show you is that when I use the block, I like to sometimes also put my toes right here. I will line my toes directly on the edge, okay? Because I've also found that people dealing with plantar fasciitis, ankle mobility, tight calves, have tight toes. No one wants to talk about the toes. It's not cool. So I'm gonna drive forward. This time I'm gonna have to extend my leg straight as possible. My hamstrings are tight, as you can see. And I'm gonna drive forward, driving those toes back as much as I can. That's kind of like a triple extension, all right? I get a stretch in the toe, stretch in the ankle, and stretch in the calf. I know it's not traditional triple extension, which is this, okay? With the hip and everything else. It's important because, as you can see, some people are extremely limited in their toes, all right? So give this a shot. Trust me, it's gonna work. You're tighter than you think you are up in your toes and in your ankles.